fired signaling the commencement of the political race by the electoral umpire INEC. In the political arena in Edo State, the marathon race to the Dennis Osadebey House inches close as hopefuls of the Edo 2024 election aim to convincingly win the hearts of the electorate, the Edo people. On Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue, we engage in discourse with astute political analysts and accountants on the candidacy, parties, and stakeholders alike, all geared up for the September 21 off-cycle elections in the heartbeat. Join us in the next phase of the show, but before you do that, you'll do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us across various social media platforms. Welcome back to the show. The show is Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue. We have on the show with me astute political analyst and accountant Mark Akende. Now, frankly speaking, from a stance point of a political analyst, I would like to know your take on the political race among aspirants. For instance, Asue, whose candidacy is vested in the PDP, Senator Okpebholo, who's the flag bearer of the APC, Olumida Akpata, an astute legal practitioner of the Labour Party. Evidently, now, we will agree that these are flag bearers and political parties. They are also the frontliners in the upcoming elections. I want to convincingly have your own opinion or your take concerning these candidates and also the parties.
Oh, well, for now, I think the campaigns are on and it is, heating up. Everyone is going about their thing, meeting with various communities, trying to convince them, trying to sell themselves, sell their manifesto to these people, why they should, vote for them and what they can do when they are elected as governor. I think so far, so good. Everyone is doing their bit, and I can say this is the first time in the Edo election while we are having a 3-horse race. Before now, it used to be the usual APC versus PDP, but I think the LP, has also come in with a force to show that, yes, they can also, make a mark, and they are doing very well. So for now, at this very moment, it is difficult to, pinpoint a party that is doing better than the other. But I think as the elections, draw nearer, things will begin to unfold, and maybe then we can be able to, project what might happen. But for now, I think they are all doing very well.
Okay, you made mention, like we discussed earlier, a case of 3 horsemen. Now, from your analytical explanation, it therefore means that the sportsmanship between these candidates and, of course, other parties, not to sideline or marginalize them, I want to believe that these 3 horsemen who are also in a horse race are trying to, as much as possible, play healthy sportsmanship in the political race. Am I right?
Yes, of course, you're right. Politics is about mutual respect. That is very important in politics, and to a very large extent, I think these people they have shown some sort of maturity, because I think everyone has just been going about their own thing with little regards for what others are doing. I have not really seen one man hitting out at the other, or one candidate hitting that back at the other. So for some time, or I think there has been decorum, so to say. There has been decorum. Everyone is just going about that thing. When I mean a 3-man horse race, it is not as if there are no other candidates. Those ones are also there doing their thing. But it's a game of number. So to a very large extent, I think these are the 3 parties that has established a structure, and they have proven with time that they can make a mark. These are the 3 major parties in Edo State now, because they all can boast of either the position of a governor, a senator, House of Reps and the what's it called, the House of Assembly election. So if they are represented at all of these levels, then you know that they have something to offer.
Okay.
So for now, I think it is a three-horse race.
Okay, moving on. So adequate representation is actually dictating the influence of these parties in this coming election. Okay, moving on. The PDP on its own part appears to be topping the lead in its campaign trail manifesto, as evidently seen all through social media. Now, might I ask, what is actually going on with the APC, the Labour Party, and probably other political parties which you had mentioned earlier on? Because I want to ask, how effective has social media also been for these candidates and their political parties as regards political engagement? Because if you will agree, that's where most of we youngsters actually are. And the youngsters actually need to have a grasp of what politics is all about.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. In the present day world, you cannot, underestimate the influence of social media, not just in politics, in all walks of life.
Okay.
And to an extent, I think the parties, they have been doing their bit, but in my own personal opinion, I think the PDP and the APC are doing more. They are taking, a bigger advantage of the social media. And I haven't seen more of that from the aspect of the Labour Party. Now, to narrow it down to the PDP and APC, I think the PDP has a good history of, making good use of social media. They have that history. They have a formidable team. It has always been there. And this is a team of, young men who are out there trying to, convince people, trying to sell the party manifesto. That is not to say the APC is not doing the same. But I think the what differentiates them is the efficiency.
Okay.
It is the efficiency that is what differentiates them. But everyone is doing their bit.
Okay, that's quite informative. Moving on, to begin, you made mention of the APC doing its own bit also. Not to mention that others are not doing their own part. It borders on one keyword, efficiency. Now, not efficiency now concerning social media angle. Now, there has been a particular news making the rounds that the APC gubernatorial aspirant, Senator Okpebholo, has forfeited his right to contest the polls. How far this is correct, we are not quite sure. So I would like to hear from you who is on ground. Now, this is as a result of alleged shocking revelation that the APC candidate is not a registered voter. But being a senator, how did he get into the National Assembly? That's another question. Now, as such, the senator in question might not be eligible, constitutionally speaking, for the Edo Guba race due to alleged fake voter card. Now, could this alarming discovery not be a self-inflicted blow, which clearly or irredeemably be a signal to be the end of the road for the APC and its candidate within Edo State?
Well, personally speaking, I heard the news and I read about it. It is quite laughable. It is quite laughable. Where there are things we say there are some things are too good to be true and some are too ordinary to take seriously. That's how I see it. Some things are too ordinary to take seriously. Um, Considering the fact that Monday Okpebholo is a senator, shows that he has contested an election. So it is difficult for someone to try to convince me that, which means he did not even vote for himself in his election. No, one thing about politics is that you always try to look for something to distract your opponent, and I see this as one of those. It is purely for distraction's sake.
Okay.
It is not true. It cannot be true. But it is going around here. I think there are also other allegations against the person of Asue too. So, but these are distractions, and I want to believe that even the candidates themselves, they are not bothered about these things. It is not something that gets to them. But the point is, it is the supporters, who bring these things up. They want to distract people. They want to, discourage some people from continuing to support their preferred candidate. So these are all gimmicks. I don't see any fact in that personally.
Okay, I wanted to take that word. You've already said it all. Actually, gimmicks or propaganda, which are actually sprouted up and sprouted out of nothing to destabilize either the candidates or the electorate who actually will tilt their hearts or minds towards some prospective candidates. So far, there hasn't been any verbal fisticuff or trading of words between candidates of the three major parties, which you had mentioned in the first phase of the show. Maybe by the time we get into August, probably the third or the fourth week, there may be this mudslinging or probably dirty washing of linen in public. But we pray that doesn't actually happen. But as awkward as it may sound, what's your take on the claim that Julius Abure, of course, the Labour Party chairman, is trying to sabotage Olumida Akpata's candidacy to advance the ESON agenda? You might recall it was a case of the Edo North and Edo South having a taste of government house for quite a long time and being the turn of the ESON, an ESON person is right enough to be in office. Now, what's your take concerning Julius Abure trying to sabotage Akpata's candidacy to advance the ESON agenda?
Well, personally, I think I heard that news in the course of the primary election. That was when I learned about that, and that is about the only time Abure would have been able to do anything about that.
Okay.
And if he couldn't make it happen, then there is very little or nothing he can do now.
Okay.
He already has a candidate in Akpata. It is his duty, it is his responsibility as the national chairman to stand behind the candidate. There is obviously nothing he can do now. And I think if there are still news of such nature going, around, I personally don't believe in it. I believe it is a false accusation. That is also part of the propaganda that is going about. And moreover, the APC and the PDP both produce their candidate from the region under question. That's the ESA. So who among them will Julius be voting for if he's not voting for Akpata? So I think there are some times in this life you feel like, okay, you have made a mistake, but you just have to continue on this path because this is your responsibility. It is part of the oath of office you have taken. So any news going around the air that Abure is trying to sabotage Olumide's chances is false.
Okay.
It is false.
Okay. Okay. That's quite on an observatory note based on the defensive value. Conclusively, before we wrap up the show with you, Mr. Mark, the Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, had inaugurated a 20-member transition committee to actually guarantee a smooth handover from his administration to the next in the upcoming swearing-in, which will take place after the election come November 11, 2024. The committee was actually chaired by former Commissioner for Finance in the state, Joseph Ebiugbe. This transition committee is coming exactly 4 months to the expiration of the Obaseki-led administration on November 12, 2024. Now, will you agree that this is in line with global best practices? Because oftentimes it has been seen that incumbents who are already currently on seat will want to delay or employ delay tactics to frustrate the efforts.
Well, I quite agree. I very well agree that it is, in line with global best practices. The truth is, whether or not it is his party that wins the election, a governor will emerge, and he will definitely hand over. So the good thing about time is that it gives you composure to do what you want to do. Pressure can make you make mistakes. So I think what Obaseki has done is in line with, global best practice. And Obaseki as a governor, he's someone who, he's a very intelligent governor. And he knows how to plan his things. He's very proactive, so to say. So I think what he has done is in line. And I am sure that is not also a distraction for him. Like I said, he is proactive and he can multitask. That is the beauty of Obaseki. He knows how to multitask. There are a lot of things on his mind, but he has good control over them. So I do not even see that as a distraction to his campaign for his party and candidate. But I think what he has done is best. If eventually it is Asue, whether it is Okpebholo, a transition must happen. And the earlier you start preparation, the better.
Okay. That was quite a laudable expression from you, Mr. Ekembe. It's been nice having you on the show, and we hope to have you from time to time. Thanks for this engaging discourse.
Always a pleasure. Always.
Well, that was Mr. Mark Hide Ekembe engaging us with the happenings and occurrences concerning the three-horse race or men or aspirants or hopefuls indulging or engaging in the political race. Now, with engaging interactions with our guests, it's only germane that the rules of the electoral exercise be strictly adhered to. Finally, in drawing the curtain on the show for today, keep tabs with us on subsequent elections happenings in the Sunshine State. And when I mean the Sunshine State, I'm talking about Ondo State. Now, you do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us across various social media platforms. The show has been Viewpoint, where we discover perspectives and embrace dialogue. Thanks for watching.